Hey Owen, welcome to the MasterCard Cup. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position, and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we get you back here in your setup, let's take a look at your posture. Spine's nice and straight and on a tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms hang down nice and naturally in front of you. The club works out to the ball. So achieving a really nice posture here in association with good balance. Looks great. Maybe reaching just a little bit for the ball. So I mean, you could probably let your arms hang down just ever so slightly, so your hands are just maybe a little bit closer to your legs, and then let the club work out to the ball from there. And that may position you just slightly closer to the golf ball as well. If anything, with your spine, you could probably get it just a little straighter as well. You don't have to tilt over as much. From there, keep your legs unlocked as they are and let the shins come down. So just a slight modification in your posture, but is it really necessary? Probably not, but if I were going to work on your golf game and we wanted in perfect position, that's where I'd have you. At this point in time, take a look at your alignment. We can see that your feet are headed in this direction here. We carry that out towards the fairway. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera would have an appearance to converge, and under that scenario, we can see that you're set up pretty much right down the left center, if not the center of the fairway. So that looks great. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Jordan Spieth. We'll flip them over to left-handed to mirror image you. We've got some color-coded lines on the screen just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. We can see with Jordan, as he initiates his takeaway, creates good shoulder rotation, bringing the arms and hands back as well as the club. And we can see the club coming back along the red line on plane. Also early on in the golf swing here, we want to establish some good wrist hinge into play, where we're going to transition the club head currently from below and in front of our hands to getting above and behind our hands. A very important move in the golf swing. From here, we're going to work the club from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we want to have the right arm and the club either situated on the yellow line or in between the blue-yellow V zone, or physically up on blue as we see with Jordan Spieth. We also want to create full shoulder rotation. We want to do this about a very stable left leg, all the while maintaining the posture actions that we achieved at address. As we go ahead and watch you initiate your takeaway here, your hands come back, rotating your shoulders. Have a tendency of maybe keeping the club head a little bit out in front of your hands, coming back. Nothing too severe. As long as that club head now goes above and behind, there's not going to be any issues. So right there, that's a pretty good transition right there. Let's work this club to the top. Right about here, you're in pretty good position. Hands are a little bit out in front of you, as opposed to sort of maybe working around you a bit more to the inside. So my fear here is that as you continue to work to the top, your arms are going to get set too steep, which they are. Might have a little bit of compression in the arms, and the club's going to maybe overswing a bit, and that's exactly what's happening. So you do get set too steep with your arms, whereby your right arm is considerably above the blue line. Left elbow's flying. Left forearm has compressed to the bicep. That's causing a lot of compression and definitely a breakdown in your right arm. And we can see for sure that the golf club has definitely swung too far by reappearing over here. So definitely need to learn how to set the hands, arms, and golf club in a better position at the top of the backswing. As we create our transition back into the ball, simply want to move our weight from our left foot to our right, fire the knees and the hips laterally to the target, unwind the core, fire the hands. In doing so, we want to make sure we're bringing the golf club from that blue-yellow V zone back down onto red, which is where the club originated, and that's exactly what we can see here with Jordan Spieth. The golf club is returning back to being on plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead form and the golf club. We refer to this as the check mark position. Simply means the club head right now is remaining above and behind his hands, coming into the hitting zone, and this is going to allow him to create a lot of power in his golf swing, aside from the fact that he's also going to hit the ball straight because the club has returned back to plane, which is a main criteria in producing straight golf shots. Now, with you set in the position you are in, you got a lot of correction to do with the arms and the club, and a lot of rerouting to do to bring this club back to the blue-yellow V zone and then back to red. So let's go ahead and see what you do here. Actually, not even done your backswing yet. So this is where you actually get to. So we can now definitely see you're really out of position at the top of the backswing. Let's go ahead with that transition back into the ball here. So nice rerouting back to the inside there with the club head, kicking into the elbow. This all looks really good right here. But still a lot of work to get this back to the blue-yellow V zone and ultimately back to red. So right here you've got it back to blue. I think that's about all that's going to happen. Your hands are going to come over the top now, and that club is going to attack the ball a little steep and from outside to inside. So let's track the club head. Let me get rid of the arrow there again. So club head, nice thing right here is that the club head is above and behind your hands. You do have a backwards check mark. Creating some power in your golf swing won't be an issue, but hitting the ball straight might be a little bit of a different story. So let's come on down the next frame. Wow, this is really good. You still continue to drop that club. I actually don't even need the one before. So let's mark that club head. So that club is even fallen even more behind your hand. So now I'm even liking this even more. Between your lead forearm and your golf club, I mean, you've got your backwards check mark, just like we see with Jordan Spieth. I mean, the only issue is, again, that club hasn't fully returned back to plane. And a lot of that's due to the fact that we just really set the arms and the golf club out of position at the top of the backswing. So again, let's go to the next frame, see where it goes now. So it falls down out in front. It doesn't make it back to the plane as expected. Sorry, a straight line here. There we go. Let's go to the next frame. That'll just be before the ball, I think. Yeah, actually just as we're making contact, so we can leave that there. But if we connect the dots, we can get a pretty good visual as to exactly what that descending plane was coming into the ball. We do see that it is just slightly steep. Club never returns back to being on plane, and the club doesn't attack the ball from that red line and on plane either, which I had stated was the reason why we hit straight golf shots in accordance to our alignment, assuming that obviously the club face squares up via having a good grip. So three things we need in order to be consistent and hit straight shots are: we have to aim well, we got to bring the club down on plane in order to hit the ball based on that alignment, and then the club face has to square up via having a good grip. So we can see with you, downswing planes coming in too steep over the top. This will influence your swing path. So at this point in time, we can take a look at the swing path. We can see Jordan's club is inside the ball, expanding out to make contact, moving through in a nice natural subtle arc. Your club was approaching the ball a little bit from outside here, striking the ball, and then moving across, so we can see it right there. So it moves inside a little bit more aggressively than we see, obviously, with Jordan Spieth, which that doesn't happen at all. So if we square the club face up to this path, where was your alignment again? Let's go back to your dress position. Yeah, okay, so we were aiming a little bit left, I think we stated. So feet were here. We carry that out. So it wasn't too far left. We were just sort of down the left side of the fairway. Okay, so we're a little outside of plane, which is causing us to attack the ball from outside to inside. So that's a compensation in order to hopefully pull the ball back to the center of the fairway. Now, in conjunction with you coming at the ball from out to in to try and pull the ball back to red, let's check out and see what your club face did as well. So let's clear this stuff off the screen, and let's see what your club face did through impact. So it is shutting down. We can see the ball headed. Yeah, so we can see the ball heading just inside right of where we were aimed. That ball is going to get out in the air because that club face was shutting down. It's imparted left to right spin. That ball will curve back to the right. Just how much will be indicative of how much you released it. I can see your hands here through the ball too. You can see a considerable amount of release with your hands, and your club face getting really closed on the way through. So you're turning that over aggressively. Looks like your left hand's even strong, which helps that club face shut down. That club face is closing. Closes so much it actually gets overshut. Right there, you can see it. And then as you come through here, you can see that your body's even got some body language that says, hey, we're really trying to hit this ball back to the right, and then you take a step out of your shot as well, which you don't want to do. You want to finish up on the toe of your left foot, get the weight in the heel of your right foot, maintaining your balance. So overall, I mean, there's some nice athletic qualities here with your golf swing. Your hands work great. Your hands come back. They fire through. Your core works well. You coil, you uncoil. You've got good enough footwork that when you swing through, you do get to somewhat of a finish, but then you lose your balance a bit. So we want to work on proper footwork where, we just come up off our left heel on the way through, get up on the toe of the left foot, get the weight into the heel of our right foot when we're done, so that we're not displacing weight on our toes and falling over towards the ball like what we're seeing here, because we would like to see your golf swing look aesthetically better just by getting into a nice balanced finish. Okay? At this point in time, obviously, what needs to change? Well, yeah, we got to set the golf club better at the top of the backswing. I mean, that's certainly a given here, okay? Because obviously the arms and the club get considerably out of position. At this point in time, we do have to learn to bring the club down on plane, but that'll be a lot easier to do when you set your hands and arms in the right position. And I actually think you'll swing the club perfectly on plane when you do learn how to set your arms and your hands in the proper position at the top of your backswing. So at that point in time, all we need to do is improve your alignment a little, aim just a little bit more right, so we're running parallel right of our target line. Improve the set position at the top of the backswing. At that point in time, I think you'll come down into the ball from on plane, and then we can sort of focus on your grip and just make sure you have a good grip so the club face squares up, because now you don't have to overflip your hands. So you're doing two things here. You're coming over the top to try and pull the ball back to the center of the fairway, but you're also flipping your hands through impact. So it's almost like we're trying to hit a pull draw back on line. And I think that's exactly actually what you did here. So that ball is being pulled back on line. It is probably drawing. And again, based on how much, will just be indicative to how much you've released your hands through the impact zone there. Okay? So, I mean, your golf shot does come down to timing due to the compensations that you're making with your alignment, you're over the top, and then the flip into the hands through impact. Anyways, at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects of your golf game, I'm located over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to structure a little program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, feel free to reach out, and I'd be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, hope you had a fabulous day, and hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video.